Well, happy Tuesday and welcome to VA Careers Live. My name is Mike Owens and I'm a national recruiter with the Veterans Health Administration, as well as your host for our weekly segment, Talk About It Tuesday. If you're watching for the first time, I want to let you know that we are here every Tuesday. Yes, every Tuesday, every single Tuesday at 12 noon Eastern Time. So feel free to grab a snack, grab something to sip on, and join us as we talk about careers here at VA. Now, again, if you're tuning in for the first time or you've been with us for the whole 3 years that we've been broadcasting, always remember that we want you to be part of the conversation. So don't be shy, don't be introverted. Go ahead and show that extroverted side and tell us what you want to tell us, whether it's in the form of a question, form of a comment, whatever you want us to hear, or whatever you feel like we need to know, or any questions that you may need answered. Go ahead and put those in the comment section. My team and I, we're good at going through those questions and comments throughout the day and throughout the week, and possibly today, because today is Q&A day. But again, don't be shy. Leave those questions because we want to make sure that this broadcast is giving you what you need. And the only way we can do that is if you tell us what you need. So do that by putting your comments and questions in the comment section. And lastly, we all know someone who wants to work here at VA. I know people that want to work at VA. You guys want to work at VA. You guys also know people that want to work at VA. So please hit the share button and let's get this broadcast out to as many people as possible. We have 2 hashtags that are associated with this broadcast. One is hashtag work at VA. Again, hashtag work at VA. And the other hashtag is hashtag VA careers. Again, those 2 hashtags that you associate before you hit the share button is hashtag work at VA and hashtag VA careers. And so with that, we can go ahead and get into today's question of the day. So as you know, today is Q&A day. And so before I get to answering your questions, I would like you to answer my question. You know, one of the fun parts about this broadcast is being able to have one lighthearted question before we get into our talk about careers. So I went online and I saw that today is National Angel Food Cake Day and National Cake Decorating Day. So I guess someone woke up years ago and said, we're going to make October 10th about cake. And I'm a man who will never say no to cake. So here we go. So again, today is National Angel Food Cake and National Cake Decorating Day. So with that being said, what is your favorite cake? So that's the question of the day. The question of the day is in honor of this National Cake Day, I guess. What is your favorite cake? Mine is, I have 2. My all-time favorite is chocolate, but I've been visiting Mexican restaurants later, and there's this cake called Tres Leches, and that's like my close second. If chocolate cake is my top, Tres Leches would be 1B. I wouldn't even make it second. Chocolate is 1A, Tres Leches is 1B. So again, I'm in honor of National Angel Food Cake Day and National Cake Decorating Day. What is your favorite cake? And again, mine is chocolate, and my 1B is Tres Leches. So I can't wait to hear all of the great answers that you guys have. Maybe you guys, if there's any type of cake you think I should try, go ahead and put that in there, and I'll make sure that I'll write that on my list of cakes to try. Because again, I'm not a man that's going to say no to cake. So with that being said, today is the second Tuesday of the month. So if you all have been watching for months, weeks, or even years, you know that the second Tuesday of each month is just a natural Q&A day. We'll talk about some questions that were submitted last week, and then we'll take some questions live to see if I can give you guys some good answers. Obviously, I'm not the know-all, so if there's any questions out there that I can't answer, I'll be sure to try to come back at a later time and either answer those questions in the comment section or maybe address them on a future broadcast. And remember that this is a VA careers program, so I understand that some of you may have questions about your VA disability. You may have questions about some experiences you had at the VA Medical Center. Obviously, I'm not the person to address those too, but if you do put your concerns in the comment section, I won't ignore you. I'll make sure that we get you directed to the right person to make sure that your issues being resolved or your questions being answered if it's not a career question. So again, but we on this broadcast, we are only answering career questions. But if you have any other type of VA questions, maybe about anything else related to VA, I'll be sure to make sure that to point you in the right direction. So with that being said, let's go into some of our questions. So One of the questions that came from Andrea. So Andrea is asking, first of all, Andrea, thank you for asking us this question. So Andrea says, I am graduating with my BSN. BSN is a Bachelor of Science of Nursing. So I am graduating with my BSN in May of 2024. So congratulations ahead of time. When should I start applying? So Andrea, you are you're getting ready to graduate nursing school in May of 2024 with your BSN. When should I start applying for positions here at the VA? So Andrea, it's a twofold question, because we know that there are a lot of nurses that are registered nurses out there that, although they don't have a BSN, they have an associate's degree in nursing, and they're already functioning as registered nurses. So if that is your case, Andrea, you can go, if you are currently a registered nurse, you can go ahead and apply at any time. But if you are someone who is not currently a registered nurse and you are graduating with your BSN in May 2024, I would say go ahead and graduate. And this is just my recommendation. Go ahead and graduate. I know there's some boards that you have to also pass. So I would say once all of that is completed, that whole process, your graduation, and you have your transcripts, and you have already passed your boards, I would say go ahead and apply for your VA job here, your registered nursing job here at VA. And the only reason is because during the application process, they're going to ask you for that stuff. So I don't want your application to be incomplete because you don't have your transcripts yet, or you don't have your board certification yet, or your license, because the VA requires you to have your license in order for you to work at a VA facility. Now, with that, you only need one license to be able to work all over the country. So if you have a license, and let's say you have a license in Ohio and you want to work at a VA in California, you can do that. You can transfer VAs if you have an active license in one state. But to kind of not go off a tangent, what I tend to do, but yeah, I will wait till you have your bachelor's degree, you have your degree, you have your license, and then go ahead and apply for those jobs, because I don't want your application to be incomplete because you're not able to submit those stuff when you first apply. So Andrea, thank you for that question, and I appreciate you being part of our broadcast. So my next question is from Samuel. So Samuel, thank you for submitting your question. Samuel is asking, how far out from military retirement should I apply to the VA? Also, can I start working on terminal leave? So so Samuel is obviously getting ready to transition out the military. He's getting ready to retire. So when should apply? I would say, obviously, when the job closes, you want to be able to start that position when that hiring manager wants you. So I would say you should start applying anywhere between maybe 30 and 60 days out. 90 days may be a little too far out. But I would say you can kind of start getting your feet wet within the 30 to 90 day time frame. Again, it just depends on maybe within 30 days, the hiring manager may be able to push your start date back a little bit if it's not a position that they need to be filled directly, or not directly, or right away. So I would say, within the 30 to 60 day time frame. If you know that you're retiring, obviously you do if you've already submitted your paperwork. But anyone that's maybe not retired, maybe you're not staying for retirement, you know that your contract's about to end. I would say, yeah, if you made the decision to do it, I would say within maybe the 30 to 45, 60 day maximum time frame, you can start applying for jobs if you want to work directly right after you get out of the military. I know when some people get out of the military, they may want to take a few months off. If that's the case, I would say kind of delay applying for a VA job. But if you're that type of person that's ready to jump in the civilian career field, or the civilian world, the civilian workforce, I would say yes, within 30 to 45, 60 days at the maximum, go ahead and apply for your job. So Samuel, thank you for submitting that question. So next question is, we got one from Henry. Henry is asking, should we list supervisory position in each? Should we list supervisory experience in each job that we apply for? Okay, so Henry, first of all, thank you for that question. So yes, I would say if you are a supervisor on your current position, or you've been a supervisor on any jobs that you've held in the past, I would say yes, please make sure you highlight all of your experience, all right? Because even though in the job announcement of a position that you may currently be in applying for, it may not necessarily say that they're looking for somebody with supervisory experience, but any extra that you've done in your workforce or in your time working can help you move forward, or can help you move to the front of the line when you're being hired here at VA. So again, if you have supervisory experience, don't hide it. Remember, don't hide any special skills that you have from any work experience that you've done. If you have supervisory experience, yes, on your resume, if you put work experience on your resume and you've held supervisory experience, yes, please go ahead and put that supervisory experience on all positions that you've held. So yes, Henry, yes, I would say yes. If you've been a supervisor, put that on your resume and make sure that's part of your application. So again, Henry, thank you for submitting that question. All right. So we have another question from Trisha. So Trisha is asking, is it better to upload your resume or use the resume builder? So again, Trisha is, asking, okay, so is it going to help me get to a hiring manager if I have my own resume, or should I use the resume builder in USA Jobs? So my answer to that, Trisha, is that it doesn't matter. All right. If your resume is good, it's going to be good whether you upload it yourself, or it's going to be good if you use a resume builder. Which avenue you use to put your resume into USA Jobs really doesn't matter. It's the stuff that's inside your resume. So again, if your resume can be a quality resume if you use a resume builder in USA Jobs, or if you decide to make your own resume and just upload it through PDF, you know what? If it's a great resume, guess what? It's going to hopefully it'll make it towards the hiring manager. But that doesn't determine if your resume makes it to the hiring manager. It doesn't determine. So I would say whichever one you feel comfortable with doing. If you feel like you can make a great resume through the resume builder, use the resume builder. If you feel like you can only make a great resume if you create it yourself and do it yourself and upload it, then I would say do that. It really doesn't matter. So don't let anyone tell you that, oh, you have to upload it or you have to use the resume builder. That's not necessarily the case. Whatever you need to do to make your resume a top-notch quality resume, I would say do that. So Trisha, thank you for that. Thank you for that question. So we have another question from Jonathan. So Jonathan is asking, and the reason I want to answer this question is because last week we were talking about physician provider recruiters. And so Jonathan is asking, first, Jonathan, thank you for being part of our broadcast and asking your question. So Jonathan is asking, or he's saying, I have applied for 3 locations as a physician provider recruiter, and I have not had an update in almost 2 months after being passed to the hiring manager. Any advice? So Jonathan is saying that he's applied to be a physician provider recruiter here at VA. And his resume has been forwarded to the hiring manager, but he hasn't heard anything back. So, Jonathan, what I would say is if there is a point of contact on that, there should be an email address, or there should be a point of contact on that announcement, all the announcements that you've applied for. I would say if you haven't heard anything in a couple of months, go ahead and reach out. I can't really answer specifically on that because I don't know which announcements you applied for. But I would say if you haven't heard anything within that 2-month time frame, yes, go ahead and reach out to that point of contact, or if there's the email address down there, and send that to the email. Maybe someone in that email group will reach out to you and tell you if that position's been filled, or maybe it's been put on hold, or maybe just it hasn't been filled yet. But if it hasn't, whatever the status is on that job announcement, I would say go ahead and reach out to the point of contact on that on the job announcement. All right. So let's see. We have some other questions that have been submitted. Let me see if I can get some questions here. Let's see. All right. So it looks like I can't tell if it's Latoya or Lataya. I'm not sure. But Latoya is asking, when will the HR Star program come around again? So Thank you for submitting that question. So the HR Star program is a HR. What it is that it's an HR internship that we have at the VA. Anyone that comes on that internship will be hired on as a GS7. All right. And again, I'm saying that because some of you are going to apply for that position, and you may be GS9, you may be GS11. But just know if you get accepted into the HR Star program, the likelihood is that you're going to start off as a GS7. And from there, it's the HR Star program is a ladder grade promotion. So you will have promotion potential all the way up to GS12. So again, you may start off as a 7, but eventually you will eventually move up. Now, you won't go from 7 straight to 12. You'll still have to go up the ladder from 7 to 9 to 11 and then parking at 12. But what it is a 1-year internship. It's not the TCF internship, which is 2 years. This is a different program. But the HR Star program was created because VA has a 20% vacancy rate when it comes to HR. So we want to get those positions filled. So the HR Star program allows us to hire 1,000 interns every fiscal year. So this past fiscal year, we were able to hire our initial 1,000 interns. Actually, the first class should be graduating soon. And then so this year for fiscal year 24, the plan is to have another 1,000 interns hired. So the announcement hasn't come out yet. I anticipate that it's going to come out maybe in the next few weeks. But I haven't heard on when it's going to come out. But yes, we do plan on having a round 2 for fiscal year 24 for the HR Star program. Obviously, when that does come out, I'll be sure to pass that information out on every social media channel that we have, including LinkedIn, including Facebook, and I'll be able. But yes, we haven't had a date yet on when that's coming out. But I anticipate that it's going to be coming out in a few weeks. But yes, we do plan on, as of now, hiring us around 2 for fiscal year 24. So thank you for submitting that question. So Jenny is asking. So Jenny, thank you for being part of our broadcast. Jenny is asking, what entry-level opportunities are available? So Jenny, it also depends on your career field. If you're trying to become an entry level in a career field that you already have experience in, I would say just go ahead and type in whatever career field that you want to work in. Go to VA Careers, go to our VA Careers website, go to the job search, and go ahead and I would say go ahead and again, type in that career field and look for those GS5, maybe 6, 7 positions. All right. So GS5, 6, 7. Once you get to around GS9, that becomes more of a mid-career type grade. But if you're looking for entry, I would say yes, GS5, GS6, and GS7. Or if you're just trying to get your foot in the door and you're willing to take any type of career just to kind of get your foot in the door, because some of us have done that too. We decided, okay, I want to be a GS5 no matter what it was so I can work myself up. I did the same thing. I had plenty of experience in the military. Then I got out of the military and decided that I wanted to become part of the VA. And I did. I came on as a GS5 and I had to work myself up. But I took a GS5 position in a field that I really didn't have any experience in. But that helped propel me up to the top of not to the top, but that helped me propel me to where I'm at now. So yes, I would just say, look at your GS5, GS6, GS7 pay grades, those positions out there, and try to get in one of those. Those will be your entry level type positions. GS9 is kind of a little harder because it's more of mid grade. And so it's kind of harder to get in GS9 and up unless it's something that's like a veteran service representative where just they're looking for a mass number of people to apply and hire. But again, it just depends on what your work experience is like and which jobs are you willing to take. But yes, I would say GS5, 6 or 7 pay grades would be a good way to start if you're trying to look for entry level positions. All right. So we have a question from Ebony. So Ebony is asking, first of all, Ebony, thank you for being part of our show today. So Ebony is asking, or she's saying, I've applied to several postings and have received emails stating GS pay grade I'm eligible for. What does that mean regarding the hire status? So during the application process, all right, you apply for a job, the job closes. Once the job closes, there's a series of emails that you may start receiving. A lot of times, the first email that you receive is an eligibility email. What that email is saying is that, okay, we went through your application and you're eligible for the pay grades that you apply for. So let's say if I apply for a GS11 position, right? And so I get that email. The email is just saying that based on my basic qualifications and the qualifications for GS11, that I am eligible to become a GS11. But that's not saying that you're eligible for the actual position. That's just saying that you're eligible to be a GS11. Now, the second email that's going to come is going to tell you if you are going to be referred to the hiring manager. Now, the eligibility email and the referral email are two different things. So don't get that confused. The eligibility email is only saying that you're eligible for that pay grade that you apply for. It's not saying that you're the perfect candidate for the position that you apply for. It's just saying that you're eligible for that pay grade that you apply for. So they deemed you eligible for the pay grade, so they're going to scan your application a little bit more to now see if you are the perfect candidate to be forwarded to the hiring manager. So again, Ebony, the eligibility email is just stating that you are eligible based on your qualifications, that you're eligible. Maybe you have education, maybe you have a plethora of work experience, but based on any of those factors, that you're eligible for the pay grade. Now, being eligible for the pay grade and being referred to the hiring manager is two different things. So just keep that in mind. Eligibility just says that, okay, I've been deemed eligible for this pay grade, but that doesn't mean that you've been eligible for the job. If you're eligible for the job, then your application is going to get forwarded over to the hiring manager. So I hope I was able to kind of answer that question without confusing you. All right. Let's see. Derek. So Derek is asking, Derek, thank you for submitting this question. So Derek is asking, what is the best advice you can give to military personnel transitioning to civilian federal service once they get out of the military? So Derek, I want to first start off saying that I hope that the federal service that you're referring to is VA, because we would love to have you over at VA, especially transition out of the military. So but the best advice that I can give you, Derek, is if you're transitioning out of the military, is to make sure you work on your resume and your application. All right. And the best thing is make sure you civilianize. I love to make up words on this broadcast, but make sure that you civilianize. Make sure that you civilianize your resume. All right. What I mean is that don't have acronyms. Find out what the civilian equivalent to some of those job titles are, because don't think because you're applying for the Department of Veterans Affairs that we're going to be able to understand your resume if it has a lot of military jargon in it. No, you don't want to do that, because although we do have a lot of veterans that work for the Departments of Veterans Affairs, that doesn't mean that the person that's going to be hiring you is necessarily a veteran and someone that served in the military. Or even if they served in the military, they may not speak that jargon. So I'll give you for an example. Most of you who've been watching this broadcast, you know that I did serve in two branches of the military. I did 12 years in the Army, and then I did my final 8.5 years in the Air Force. So when I switched over from Army to Air Force, the jargon, the acronyms, life was so much different in the Air Force than it was in the Army. And so with that being said, transfer to now, if you served in the Air Force and you keep all that Air Force jargon in your resume and you apply for a civilian federal service job here at the VA, but let's say your hiring manager served in the Marine Corps, they're not going to understand that Air Force jargon. They really won't. So to kind of just keep it fair across the board and keep it clean, I would say the first thing that I would tell you to do, Derek, is make sure that you're able to summarize up all of your work experience in the military, and make sure that you're able to use it in civilian terms in a way that a civilian, someone who has never served in the military, will understand. Because if you submit a resume or you submit an application and the hiring manager has to think hard, or they have to try to translate your resume, they're not going to hire you, because they have so many resumes coming in, and they don't want to have to work that hard to be able to kind of see if you have to be able to articulate that you're the perfect candidate. And you won't be able to do that if there's a bunch of military jargon in your resume. So I would say this: get with somebody, maybe on base where you're assigned. There's an office that can help you with civilian resumes. I would say find a professional that can help you with that, because your resume is the one thing that's going to speak for you outside of the military. Make sure you find somebody that can help you with that and help them get you a good civilian resume. Because again, if you have operations NCO as a job title, someone in the civilian world won't know what an operations NCO is. If you're a commanding officer, while we can kind of figure out what a commanding officer is, you want to put maybe manager or maybe CEO or something like that, something that's a civilian equivalent to your job titles. But if you go and say that drill sergeant, all right, we understand what a drill sergeant is, but that's not the job title you want to use. A training instructor would be perfect. That would be the civilian title for drill sergeant, or military training instructor, or whatever branch of service you served in, the MTI or drill instructor, whatever. Training instructor would be the perfect civilian equivalent to a drill sergeant. So again, make sure that you're able to civilianize your resume, civilianize your work experience, to make sure that you're able to articulate to a civilian what type of work experience that you have. All right. So with that being said, it looks like that's all the time that I have. That's all the time that I have for questions today. But if you submitted a question, it won't get ignored. Again, my team and I will go through the comments and try to see if we can sort out some of your questions and comments, or we may save some of your questions for a future broadcast. But either way, we're going to make sure that that your comments are answered. I'm sorry, your comments are addressed and your questions are answered. So with that being said, now, again, as I said in the beginning of the broadcast, I'm here, I'm answering your questions, so that if you tuned in later, we do have a question of the day. Today is National Angel Food Cake Day, and it's National Cake Decorating Day. So someone wanted to dedicate October 10th to cake. So with that being said, I'm a man that never says no to cake. So my question for you is, what is your favorite type of cake? If somebody came to you and say, okay, I want to make you a cake, and you have to tell them what kind, what would that be? I said earlier that I have two of my favorites. My top is always chocolate cake. I'll never say no to chocolate cake. And because I have a love for Mexican restaurants, I do like the Mexican tres leches cake. But again, I'm looking forward to seeing all of your good answers out there. So with that being said, thank you for attending our question and answer day. For all of those who submitted questions that I was able to talk about, I hope that I was able to answer your question. If not, you can always put a follow-up in the comment section. And for those questions or comments that I was not able to address, stick around, stay tuned, and we'll be sure to answer those in the comment section or at a later date. So with that being said, we always appreciate you tuning into our Talk About It Tuesday segment. We hope each week that you're able to learn something. We hope each week that we're able to teach you something new. And hopefully this broadcast will allow those who work for the VA to apply for those promotions, and those who are trying to get in the VA, we want you on board, and we know that you guys are great candidates. So hope this broadcast will help you to find your awesome career here at VA. So with that being said, thank you for watching. If it's Tuesday, you definitely know we're going to talk about it, and we'll see you on next week. Have a great day.